Hey guys, it's Teeezy. So I was like, well, let me do a video to give everybody an update on my TTC journey. And then I realized that I never even told you guys where I was in my journey at all. So me giving you an update, couldn't do that without telling you guys the story of my journey that got me to where I am today. So I figured I would give you guys a little bit of history and then just to let you guys know where I am currently in my my trying to conceive journey. So I'm gonna give you guys like an abbreviated version of a timeline because that could be like a whole hour or maybe even like more of an hour of me just talking. So back in July of 2013, I got married, and shortly after, I mean, it's one of those things, first comes love, then comes marriage, then you expect to have a family. And so right after it was, we figured that we would start to try shortly after. However, I had fibroids. I knew I had fibroids prior to getting married, but at the time that we got married, it was really bad. So I ended up having a myomectomy surgery in November of 2013. I had about between 10 and 13 fibroids, different shapes and sizes and all that wonderful stuff. 2014. So I ended up going to the same doctor, the OBGYN that did my surgery, and just doing a lot of research. It was like always like, well, after you have a myomectomy surgery, you usually get pregnant shortly after. Well, that didn't happen with me. So the end of 2014, when I went to go see my OBGYN, it was like, well, you know, one of those things, well, how old are you? Well, give it 6 more months. And, you know, she wasn't worried, but it was like, you're still young. Give it six months, you know, it shouldn't be a problem, blah, 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 all that stuff. 6 months rolls around. I didn't see her again until my next annual, so that was like the end of 2015. And she kind of gave me that same song and dance. It was like, oh, well, you know, how old are you? Well, you're still young, and, you know, give it some time. And then she would order like labs and to test certain lab values and stuff like that, and they will always come back normal. And then my husband also went to get his sperm count checked, which came back normal as well. So again, she didn't throw around infertility or anything like that. So in the back of my head, I kind of felt like it was like, well, something's wrong. You know what I mean? Like I felt like something was wrong. However, she just never brought up the topic. So it was what, so it was what it was. So back in 2015, one of my friends, you know, we were talking about, you know, kids and having babies and all that stuff. So she asked me where I was in my journey and stuff like that. So she knew I had the surgery and everything like that. So she told me that she had a friend that kind of specialized in taking a holistic approach to fertility and dealing with fertility and like prepping your mind and body and everything for pregnancy and stuff like that. So she said when the time came for her, that she would definitely like reach out to her friend and stuff like that. But you know, she said that she gives you supplements and teas and all this other stuff. So she kind of put that in my head. And at that time, I really wasn't like, it wasn't in the back of my head, but I didn't reach out to her. So I was like, okay, that's, you know, let me know. I'll let you know, like basically when I was there. So 2016, I ended up moving from outside of New York City, and I moved back to my hometown, and one of my other friends was telling me about CNY fertility. So that's how the whole CNY fertility came in, because one of my friends actually told me about them. I was like, well, maybe you should go there and see what they have to say. So my goal was to go just for like the acupuncture, because I did hear and I see a lot as far as like, you know, women that are trying to conceive to try acupuncture to see if that works. So that's why I started off with CNY, was the acupuncture part, and I still go to this day. So it's been 2 years in and I'm still doing the acupuncture because I really love it. So so that was 2016, and then also in 2016 when I moved back to my hometown, I found out that my mom was sick. So priorities kind of shifted. And I'm like, okay, well, let me just still do the acupuncture and we'll still try. But as far as meeting, you know, a specialist or anything like that, let me put that on the back burner, because my mind, like where I was mentally, especially like just finding out that my mom was sick and stuff like that, I just didn't think that I was in that space. So time went on, 2016, and then I found a new OBGYN that actually worked with CNY fertility. She had a lot of patients from there, so I liked working with her because she's familiar with the familiar with the facility, and if any records and all that stuff, I just felt comfortable going to her. She was actually referred to me by one of the acupuncturists that was at CNY. So talking with her, she did all these lab work. She put in the effort that my other OBGYN did not do. She put in a lot of effort. And when I was looking at my chart on my mobile app the other day, actually she put female infertility back in 2016. And I didn't even, if I look at my chart, my diagnosis says female infertility. And that was April 2016. So still going through my acupuncture treatments and my abdominal massages, and then so 2017 I'm like, okay, well, let me go see a specialist because nothing still happened. Let me go see a specialist. April 2017 I went back to CNY, this time to see a specialist, an RE or reproductive endocrinologist. And he did an HSG test and another test. So he tested to see if my tubes were blocked, and come to find out that one of my tubes were blocked, and it was due to the fact it was just a result of the myomectomy that I had back in 2013. At that point, he was saying, okay, he recommended to have 2 IUIs, and then if that didn't work, IVF. And after that, I want to say I was like devastated. Like, I was finally happy that it was one of those things where, like, you know something's wrong, but you don't know what is wrong. But just for him to finally figure out that something was wrong, and just as far as factoring in again, because when I started this, it was 2013, so now it's 2017. I'm a few years older again. I'm not getting younger, so I have all this stuff like that's against me right now, as far as like, you know, my age. Or a tube blocked and things of that nature. So like I said, but it was, I guess I was devastated because it was like, oh, well, and I know it's not successful on the first time, but it was like, oh, let's just try 2 IUIs and then, you know, IVF. But it is what it is. So after that, I did tell my husband about it, and we kind of left it at that. And then at that point also, like, as far as me being so consumed with checking my ovulation and taking, you know, tests and doing all this tracking, I kind of, not to say that I stopped, but I eased off a lot because I felt like that stress, I don't know how I felt, but I ended up like just taking a few steps back and just saying, okay, let me regroup, let me refocus about everything after, you know, everything that I found out when I went to the RE. So I knew I didn't want to pursue IUI or IVF at that time. Like I said, I found out that my mom was sick a year before, and I knew that the outcome wasn't going to be well. So again, my focus, like, this was kind of stuff on the back burner, like, let me work on this in the background, but my primary focus the last 2 years has always been my mom. And I'm like, after when, you know, I get things settled with my mom, or I'm at a better place, then let me focus on the fertility stuff. So late 2017, my friend asking me again about, you know, where I was and my journey and everything like that. So so I remember her telling me prior about her friend that, you know, that kind of worked with women that were trying to conceive and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I kept calling her the lady with the potions, because I remember she said, like, you know, she give you like teas and like tinctures or like all that stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'm like, your friend with the potions, like, can I get her number? Like, I want to like reach out to her and stuff. So so I ended up having her set up a meeting between her friend and me. So, but that happened later. So the conversation started again with the friend with the potions in 2017, late 2017. My mom ended up passing Christmas Day 2017, and So yeah, I'm still in my grieving process. So sometimes you see me I'm kind of in and out because I take every day, day by day, and that's just how it's gonna be for a while, and maybe permanently, I'm not sure. So 2018, I figured that this would be a reboot for me. Teeezy 2.0, a reboot. A lot of things changed in my life since my mom passed away. This is a new year for me. It's a milestone for me. As far as birthdays, I'm not gonna say how old I'm gonna be, but it's a milestone for me. And just learning like you have to realize that like this is gonna be my first birthday without my mom. This is gonna be my first Mother's Day without my mom. So many holidays, so many things in my life that I'm learning all over again. And then I'm just wondering like what Christmas is gonna be like this year because my mom passed on Christmas Day. So this year I felt as okay, this is a reboot for me. It's time for me to put on my big girl panties, and it's time for me to just be a woman and just be the best of who I am. So I'm going to be the best sister, wife, daughter to my dad and my mom. I'm just gonna be the best that I could be this year. So this year for me has definitely been a reboot, and I like the way that is going. So I ended up reaching out to my friend. I'm like, can you contact your friend with the potions for me? Like, I'm ready. Now I'm ready. So she's like, she's not just a potion. Like she was saying, I keep calling her the potion lady. I don't think she knows that I call her the potion lady, but just jokingly, because I'm just thinking, before I was thinking in my head, okay, she's gonna give me this tea and this pill and this, and then I'm just gonna get pregnant. Like, but of course that's not the case. So my friend ended up setting up the meeting with the potion lady, and so I didn't get a chance to meet her in person. So like we kind of talked on the phone briefly, and then to just like set up a time where it was like a kind of like an intro meeting, just so we could like, you know, say hey, and for her just let me know like who she was, what she does and stuff like that. And then we set up like a meeting to actually meet. So that was in mid-January. So now I'm going to tell you guys where I am currently in my TTC journey. So I met with her in January 2018. So her actual title, if you look her up, see, she is a sensualista. She works with healing the mind, body, soul, spirit. She is a life coach. She works with you in all aspects, so not just your body. She's not a potion lady. Like I said, she works with you in all aspects, and then dealing with fertility is not just her specialty. So she deals with other aspects. But in my case, so in that initial meeting, she was just like, just talk to me, you know, tell me where you are, tell me where, you know, how did we meet type of thing, and what brings you to me type of thing. So we were talking and stuff. So again, I gave you guys like the abbreviated version of the last 4 to 5 years of my life. However, I kind of went a little bit further back with her and told her a lot of what was going on in my life and what kind of brought me to her. And then after I get done telling her my whole spiel, I didn't know what was next. And then she was like, she told me, and she said, you have a lot of work to do. And she was like, and I'm like, me? Like, I have work to do? I just thought you were gonna give me some potions and I'm gonna be okay. Like, what do you mean I have work to do? So she's like, you have a lot of work to do as far as like healing. Again, like as far as like mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, I have a lot of healing to do. And when you think about when it comes to infertility, sometimes you wonder like if it's not just your body, but if it's your mind and your spirit, if it's everything that plays into the fact of you being infertile. And she was telling me as far as like a lot of the stuff that happened in my past, and it happens with a lot of women, we carry it in our wombs. We carry it, all that anger, that hurt, that frustration, we carry it in our wombs, and we have to let go of that. And she was saying that a baby can't grow in an environment like that when it's unhealthy, when you have all of that stuff that's you're holding on to, it's in your womb. So it made a lot of sense, because just looking back and just kind of talking to her to where I was and certain things that happened in my life, I was holding on to a lot of stuff, and bad relationships, just things that happened between me and my mom, or, you know, sisters and just friends and stuff like that. Like, you hold on to that, and again, I am a type of person that I do tend to hold on to stuff, and I was carrying that, and I possibly still am carrying certain aspects of it in my womb. So she's had me I started journaling. She told me to write down, basically she wanted me to start off where the whole fibroid thing. So I kind of had to go back to that. So like I said, back in 2013 I knew I had fibroids. However, I knew about them for a while, but they got progressively worse over time. They were really bad by the time I got married. So she wanted me to kind of go back to where I was back, you know, when I found out that I had fibroids, and that what my life was like then. And there's a lot of turmoil in my life at that time. And I exactly remember where I was, like what I was going through at that time. When I went to, you know, to the doctor, and I'm telling them, oh, you have fibroids. Then she was, at that point they were really small, but she was like, we're just gonna monitor it and see where it is. So I started journaling, and I kind of journaled back from starting there all the way up to now. There's a lot of things that I didn't want to write down, just because I was ashamed, and it was a lot of hurt involved, and I didn't want to write it down, but I did. And some things, so I talked to her next time, I told her, you know, I wrote some stuff down, but there's some stuff that I didn't, because I wasn't sure, like, who would ever find this book, and I wouldn't want all of my, like, dirty laundry, like, exposed. But she kind of said, like, it's one of those things just to kind of let it go, to write it out and let it go, and then release it. So after that, I don't have to keep it in my journal. I could just take it out and burn it. So I'm like, okay, as long as I write it. So she was like, it's okay, just keep journaling as long as you you know, write it down, and then read it to yourself, process it, shred it, burn it, bury it. She said, do whatever you have to do to just kind of let it go. So I used to journal back when I was a kid, so it wasn't hard for me to like kind of just like pick up and start journaling again. So again, like, I was just thinking that this process would be so easy, as far as she would just give me something to drink or eat or whatever the case may be. Some damn flower from Wakanda, and I'm gonna drink it and I'm gonna get pregnant. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but this process for me I've grown in the last, what, 7 weeks or so. So that's where I started. I had to work on forgiving others, forgiving myself. A lot of forgiveness, a lot of stuff, again, like I was holding on to, and I've been so far removed from it, but I felt like I suppressed so much stuff, and just revisiting it. And the forgiveness isn't for that. I realized that it's not for that person. It's for me and my my sanity, me being okay with everything. So the forgiveness has nothing to do with that other individual. And just to give you an example, I had a really bad relationship about 10 years ago, and I still held on to that. And I was like, you know what, I can't wait to the day that I find out that he is dead so I could spit on his grave. That's how, like, that's the anger and that's the hurt that I was holding on to for all this time. And again, it was just, again, I'm married, I moved on, I'm pretty sure he's moved on, but I was just holding on to that hate. And it was like, I had to forgive him for everything that he did to me, and let it go. And I have. I don't want to spit on his grave anymore. I'll send flowers. You know what? I'll send a card, and I'll send my condolences if that happens. If, God forbid, I hope not, but whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying, like, I don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel like I don't have that anger in me. So it's not one of those things where, oh, I'm cured. It's a work in progress. It's always a work in progress, where there are times that I get angry and I still get frustrated, but I still need to work against that and work to be better. So it's a work in progress. It's not just something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, and that's what she was telling me. So as far as like the stuff that I thought that that first meeting that she was gonna give me, she said, you're not there yet. You're so far from being there. So, and again, she was telling me that I had work to do. So, and I've been working for the last couple of weeks, working on, like I said, forgiveness. I've been meditating a lot lately, working on my chakras. And if you don't know what chakras are the centers of your spiritual powers, like inside of you. So you have like 7. And some of my chakras were blocked. And so I had to work on unblocking them. Some of them are still not open. So my heart right now is closed. So I'm working on opening my heart chakra and my sacral, which is down near your abdominal area. That was blocked. So again, those are the 2 main ones that I've been working on, but just again, just aligning my chakras. I've been meditating, saying forgiveness prayers, doing forgiveness worksheets. And again, it's not for that other person, but it's for me to just have a healthy mind, body, physical, emotional, just to have all of that healthy. So when I do conceive, I have a healthy body and my baby's gonna be healthy. And then, oh yeah, and what else? I do daily affirmations. So back with my TTC gift, I got this, and then once I got it, I'm like, oh, this is a nice place to keep my affirmations in. So I have daily affirmations that I recite to myself. I have an emotional, a physical. So I have an emotional, a physical, a mental, and a spiritual affirmation that I created, and I say daily. So these are my affirmations. And I don't know if you've ever seen like Being Mary Jane, but I also have like them posted in places. So it's one of those things. It's a constant. It's like I said, it's not something that I'm gonna do and then I'm cured type of thing. It's just one of those things where, as far as like having a healthy mind, body, spirit, all of that, it's a work in progress. So this is not something that's gonna go away, something that's gonna stay in my life. And after a while, I may not have to have this book. It's just me reciting in my head, you know, my daily affirmations about how I feel with my body, because I haven't always been comfortable with my body, or, you know, just emotionally and things of that nature. So I'm working with that, but then I think it's also allowing me to help me grieve with my mom. So, and then my journal. I write in my journal as needed, and then I read it, burn it. So if anyone were to pick this up, chances are it may be empty, because I do try not to keep anything personal in here. So these things, like I said, over time, I probably won't have to have them. It's just gonna be in my mind. I can recite my affirmations in the morning, say my forgiveness prayers, all of that stuff. So that's where I am. So basically what I'm trying to say, I'm prepping my body for a baby, because she said it's coming. She said that when I talked to her the first time, she told me that she sees a little girl, and she said that this little girl is patiently waiting for me to get my life together. And when she said that, like, I started bawling, crying, because I just did. So I am basically going through spiritual healing for infertility right now. So yeah, and so just comment down below if you all have worked with any spiritual healing in your journey, if you are where you are, and what things that you have done. So I will start posting more about this spiritual, the spiritual healing that I'm going through for my infertility. She did give me my potion, one of my potions. So I need to stop calling it potions, but I think it's just funny that I call it potions. I haven't taken it yet. So when I do, I will do a video on it's called womb release, actually. So it's not a potion, it's called womb release. So I will do another video, and then she's actually making me a waistlet to wear around my waist for fertility, and it's different crystals on it that that serves different functions. So once I get that, I will show you guys my my waistlet that she made for me. And so as we're also where I am in my journey, I'm gonna pull this up. I track my cycle with Ovia Fertility, so you can see it. So basically I am on, I know it's backwards, but I am on cycle day 49 right now. 49. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. My cycle normally runs 29 days, sometimes 30, but for the last couple of months, it's been 29 to 30. No, it's actually been 28, 29. So, it was getting more, it was less. So my max has always been 30, but like I said, the last couple of months has been 28. It's been like a 28 cycle. So I'm on day 49. I'm not pregnant. I've taken every pregnancy test. I'm not. I got really anxious around day 31. I think that's when I took the first pregnancy test and it was negative, and then I tested a week later, and then time's going on. And I'm like, what's going on? I did have bleeding on cycle day 21, so I was excited about that because of the time frame and stuff like that. So, and I'm not pregnant, and I got a lab done as well for the doctor just to confirm that I'm not pregnant. She wants to put me on Provera, and that is to jumpstart my menstrual cycle. However, I had acupuncture this past weekend with my acupuncturist, and I was kind of against it. I was kind of hesitant after she told me that she called in a prescription for the Provera, and after speaking to my acupuncturist, she kind of advised against it as well. She just kind of told me to wait and let nature take its course. So I'm gonna try and hold out a couple of more. I'm gonna hold out, I think. I do have a doctor's appointment next week, but I do think that I'm going to hold out as far as like taking the Provera. If I could do anything naturally, holistically as possible, I will, as far as instead of taking medicine. So I don't want to go that route. So we will see. But right now I'm on cycle day 49. No baby, no nothing. It's just Aunt Flo is missing. And what else? So also my hubby and we actually had a conversation about IUI and IVF and about pursuing it. So that was something that we had never really talked about after, like I said, after I went to the RE. So I was excited that we kind of had that conversation. But where I am now with this whole the spiritual journey, I want to see where this goes, because I feel like I've made so much progress, and it's been like 7 weeks. I feel like I've made so much progress. So I want to see if, again, I can, even though the doctors are saying that, you know, I'm suffering from female infertility in a blocked tube and stuff like that, I do want to see how my spirituality plays into my infertility and kind of see where this goes. And I'm actually optimistic about this approach as far as like where I'm going, because it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's me. It's me, again, my mind, my body, my spirit. It has to do with me and not anybody else or someone giving me medicine to take and all that stuff. So so that is my journey and update as far as like where I am. Like I said, when I do take the womb release, I will do a video because I have to make it. So I'll show you guys what it looks like and what it is and stuff like that. But she told me not to take it yet, so I have to wait until Aunt Flo comes knocking on the door. So we'll wait to see when she wants to show her face. Hopefully it'll be soon. And so yeah, so like I said, comment down below just to let me know where you all are with your journeys, and as far as like if you are also doing spiritual healing during your process, let me know like what you're doing and if it's working for you, and any information that you need. I don't want to put her name on blast right now, even though she does have YouTube. I do know she has YouTube channels and she has a Facebook page and stuff like that, but I'll just talk to her first just to let her know, and then if so, I would love to introduce her to all of you because she is an amazing person. I love her, so I could definitely post her information and stuff like that so you guys can see it. And so if you took the time to watch this, thank you for watching. I love all of my TTC sisters in the community. I try and watch as many videos and as possible and try to stay updated on where you guys are. So yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you for watching. Bye.